That is so weird. So weird. Hello, everyone. So, I haven't been paying attention to chat because I've been watching, well, not watching, I've been doing stuff inside AUM here with NuRack. And I actually haven't had this app for a very long time. I've had it for a little time, and during that time, I've mostly been trying to build my own stuff because that's what I do. So, haven't learned too much about what's actually in here, apart from, seeing what's actually in there. And not too long ago, like Jacob, you need to be quiet on that second pad. And not too long ago, Paul did. I think its name is Paul anyway, the developer. He updated this one. It's like 3 days ago, and I've hardly even been able to catch up with it. First of all, I just want to say hello and welcome to Jakob haQ Live. I'm really happy that all of you decided to join up again, and I've been looking at the box instead of looking at the right there at the lens. So, hello everyone. Hello everyone. So let's see here. In this episode, I really just want to get into building stuff in here. I haven't tried building much so far. I've built like what is it? I've built this thing because the update that Paul put out for NuRack 3 days ago was actually pretty nice. It's pretty substantial because he gave us a way of actually converting our knobs into faders, and I really do enjoy that. So I've been walking back through some of my patches and just switching out the knobs to faders instead. So that alone have been so much worth it just updating the app. Now, anyone who has the app, if you've already had the app for a while, let's say that you've had it since it came out, you're probably gonna know more about this app than I do. So what I'm gonna do is just try to explore it, and I just want to show people why I am using it. I'm having so much fun using it just because I do get to tailor my own stuff. And usually it's a very small amount of, well, it's a smaller group of people who usually likes building their own stuff. I know from experience, if I ever name any of my titles DIY, a very small percent of people are gonna actually watch those videos. Not that there isn't a big DIY community out there, but when it comes to apps, that community isn't that big. But I do think it's worth checking out NuRack here. So what I've built right here, this is just basically I call it a shimmy verb, but it's not really a shimmer reverb because even though I'm pitching the reverb tail in here. If we go, if I can stop from playing any notes, if we go in and look here, we can see. Sorry, I hit the camera. We can see that I've put in basically two pitch shifters, and so what I'm doing is I'm splitting up. I'm splitting up the signal with two times with two splitters so that I can have three outputs, and then I'm sending two of them through two pitch shifters. So one is being pitch shifted one octave up, and one is being pitch shifted one octave down. And then I'm mixing the original signal, the clean signal, together. So I have a like a merger here, 3 to 1. So one is the clean signal, the other one is pitch up, and the last one is pitch down. And so it's basically just a mixer for those three signals. And then at the end of it, I've put a big reverb. And in order for this really to be a shimmer reverb, you kind of have to feed back the output back into it again. And I've tried doing that, but when I do, the app crashes on me. When I've got it loaded as an audio unit, it just crashes on me. I can build it in standalone mode, and it won't crash. But if I try to load it, it will crash. So I don't know if it's supposed to be able to do feedback loops, and I haven't contacted. I think his name is Paul. I haven't contacted the developer to ask him if this is if it's not possible, if I'm doing something wrong, or if it's a bug. I haven't asked him actually. So, is there anyone in the chat, if you have ever used NuRack and you've ever managed to do a feedback loop without having the app crash? Could you hear that? That's the door from my girlfriend. Hey baby. Hey hey. If you ever managed to build a feedback loop in NuRack without it crashing, let me know in chat because I would love to hear about it. can't build shimmer reverbs without. I mean, you can build reverbs that kind of sounds like shimmer reverbs, but not really. In order for it to be really shimmer-like, you have to have that feedback loop. So the way that this sounds right now, it's really just that simple. Two pitching models, and that's it. That's all that this thing does. And then when you go out of the editing mode, it looks like this. And maybe I don't know if you noticed that, if you've ever seen the original app. The original app, the it's actually gray, light gray. So I've loaded my own um, picture in here to use as a, yeah, because I like my stuff dark. And I've also loaded in my logo here, if you can see that. So I thought we would be doing something like that. Build a module. So let's just play this real quick for you so you can hear what it sounds like. That's also another thing I built there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disconnect that thing and that thing. And so I'm playing tardigrade? No, sorry, tardigrade. So it sounds pretty cool in itself. Tardigrade is an absolutely wonderful app made by Erik Siegt, another Swedish bloke making apps somewhere in the world. I think he moved home to Sweden some time ago, he said. Maybe I should, if there's any chance that he lives close, oh yeah, I have to wait until this whole thing is over before. I miss really being able to go to developers, meet up with them, and just sit and talk and then maybe record something. I really miss doing that. It's gonna be nice sometime in the future for all of us when we can, you know, relax a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on this effect that I've built for tardigrade, and we'll. What didn't I? Yeah, I'll just turn those back in there. So just keep that one. I think I made it too big. It's really nice that you can just zoom in and out on it with a two-finger pinch. So so that's the dry signal. But yeah, it's not dry. I mean, that's just me running it without the pitch shifters. But now I'm gonna pull up the pitch shifters here. Feels like it's a little bit loud. Yeah, it's a pretty insane and interesting sound. I would be so happy if I could be able to actually do the feedback routing so that I could get the proper shimmer effect in there. It would be so nice, but unfortunately no. And I think I have to talk to the developer to find out whether that is a bug or if it's not supposed to be possible and I'm trying to route it wrong or incorrectly. I'm just not sure. I want to say hello to everyone else who have joined up this last past 5 minutes or 10 minutes that we've been streaming, and I haven't really been looking at the chat. I can see that we've got Dean from Electronic Sounds Audio. Sorry, in the chat here. Every time I stream, there's so many other YouTube channels that pop up. And if you ever want to find any other YouTube channel apart from mine, or if you are new and just found the stream and you're like, oh, you suck, dude, I want to watch something else, then go down into the description box and check out the link collection there to other YouTubers, I think it says. And you have links to all of these wonderful content creators, and I'm sure you'll find someone that fits your style of video watching. I think you know what I mean. All right, so let's start from scratch with NuRack. I'm not gonna unload this thing. I'm just gonna go in here, and we're gonna keep tardigrade in there because it creates very interesting textures, and that's something I've been experimenting with a lot these past. Well, actually, since I started working on like really working on the Mellow album. So I've been experimenting with textures because something that I felt was a bit lacking for me when I worked with the Mellow album was I wanted to add like interesting textures, stuff like creaky doors. And if you were here, in the last live stream when we did some creaky door stuff when I was making like a Mellow album track, I want to be able to do stuff like blah, blah, blah. I want to be able to do stuff like that on the fly. And so that's why NuRack fits me because I can actually tailor all my reverbs directly. You see, if I'm working inside Cubase's, I will at some point just sit there and redo the same thing over and over again for several channels. Add the same compressor, add the same equalizer, add the same everything, and then do the same things and only tweak them slightly, right? And so I have a certain effect chain that I do, and in those cases, it would be easier for me just to load up AUM and the instrument and then load an effect chain already finished with all of my tweaks that I normally do inside a plugin like NuRack, and it allows me to do that. So that's why I'm so in love with it. By the way, this is what it. Can you see that? By the way, I think you can, right? Let's see here if I can do this. I've kind of like there's so many controls and stuff here, but I've kind of hidden them outside of the control area. So I mean these are actually the splitters, and then you have like the pitch things. I didn't need any controls for the pitch. I just set them to 1 octave up and 1 octave down, so I moved it. Well, you'll see exactly what I mean as we build stuff. But for this one, we're gonna do. Let's see here. We're gonna do a completely new one. So, NuRack, yes. I think Paul is aware of the feedback crashes. My iPad has sent at least 10 crash logs. Okay, Samuel Lindemann, as usual, you come with these words of wisdoms and news and stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah, probably he must be. Sometimes I almost feel bad for reporting bugs to developers because I know that they probably know about the bug, but then again, if they don't, I kind of have to say something because, I wouldn't want them to miss it. So for this NuRack, we're gonna call it. We're just gonna give it a name. We're gonna call it a NuRack, creatively enough. And so what should we build, chat? Like I always fall into the same trap of doing the same thing, okay? So lately it's been reverbs and distortion units. Now, what could we use to make this interesting? So we got tardigrade here. We got a very interesting sound right now. Some delays would be cool. Some kind of a delay unit would be nice. And one of the things that I really like with oh come on, I don't like this with AUM. Come on, like this is annoying with AUM. So I have this box over here, and I just want to press there to activate this box. But no, I have to move it aside to press a frame. I absolutely do not like that. I hope that this is something that Jonathan will address because it's so annoying. It's so annoying. That is so annoying. Does it work here? No, I actually have to touch the top bar. I don't like that. All right. So let's start by adding a delay. Some kind of a delay. Time-based, and let's do a tape delay. Let's do something interesting with that. Ooh, that's small. Let's zoom into it. Now, right from the beginning, I like planning out the way that the finished rack is going to look like. Right now, this is what the rack is going to look like. That's it, a tape delay, and it doesn't look very interesting. Not that I'm crapping all over Paul's work. That's not at all what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Never mind. Let's see here. So I'm just gonna enlarge in this. And what I don't want to keep in this, I wanna kind of set it to a set amount of time. Let me check one thing. I've disconnected it. Okay. We should be hearing it now. Let's pull up the mix a little bit. Feedback. We'll pull up feedback to almost a full. I like doing that. That sounds pretty nice. Okay, so here's another thing that I always do when I set up my effects in AUM. I always do this, always. I Most people will, like, they will put, if they have an app like this, they have tardigrade there, and then they want an effect on it, they will put the effect right there. I only do that with compressors and equalizers. I don't do it with other effects, because with other effects I might want to use that same effect for many other channels. So I set it up as a proper send. So I'll open another channel, I'll add the effect to that slot, to the insert slot on that channel, right here beside it, and then I'll just set up a bus system. And that way I can send multiple channels to it. So if there are any beginners here, if you are putting your reverb effects directly onto these buses, try doing it like this instead. You set up the second channel, you do it there, and then the only thing you need to do to make it a true send is to make sure that the effect you've loaded, you just pull the mix knob or blend knob up fully to 100%, so you can only hear the effect from that channel. That's how I'm doing, like, all of my big wet reverbs, my shimmering reverbs, all of that. I do it like that. I just full maximum blast, so I can, like, blend the wetness into the rest of my sound. I just think it melds better. Sometimes I will put, like, a shorter reverb directly onto directly onto the track I'm working on. But I only do that with bass and drums. So one thing I really don't want in here right now, I don't want too many controls on the final page. So I'm gonna have to decide what I want to keep. It would be nice to have the delay sync. That's very nice to have that, to be able to switch that. No, no, we're gonna run minimalistic. I'm gonna move this to. Oh, okay. So when you move it up or outside of the frame, it will disappear. But the only thing you have to do is you just have to grab this box here, and where it says clip to bounce, you just unmark it, and now you're able to pull it everywhere. And don't pull it like this, because when you do, it will enlarge in the box. If you want to hide it away, you put it up here, and then you can also choose option hide show and just hide it. It will be grayed out, and it's hidden right there. Another thing that I can say is that, let's say you're working on a plugin like this and you put this thing here. Now if you want to keep this box this small, and you try to do this by minimizing this box. Let's see. Oh, it actually works? What? Was that a bug? That's so weird. That's so weird. It used to, like, if I had anything placed over here, like outside of this frame, it would just snap back out. Maybe this is something that Paul fixed. So never mind what I said. It doesn't do that anymore. Ah, nice. Very nice. Very nice. By the way, all of these things can be resizable. Like, these can be resized. And another neat thing we're gonna do, because I don't like these knobs, we're gonna go out from the editing mode and go in here. Sorry, we're not gonna go out of the editing mode. We're gonna go into the editing mode and choose this little box right here with the stripes on them. And it has a knob style switcher. And this is nice because you can have a lot of different types of knobs. They're not very high res, and some of them don't look that good when you actually enlarge them. But one that I like a lot is the high contrast black and white. I don't know if you can see it, but I really like these ones, and they look rather good when you enlarge them too. Now, since I want to set the mix to full right instantly here. Oh, of course, I put it outside. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna add the mix to full because I want full mix, and I don't need to see that. So we're gonna like hide show it right there. What am I gonna keep? I'm gonna keep the warp. I'm gonna keep the flutter. I'm gonna keep the feedback, and the delay I'm not gonna keep. No, I'm not gonna keep the delay. It's gonna be there. I'm gonna set the delay to, let's see, let's set the delay to just set it to a random amount. We'll see if I need this. No, that's a whole second. Yeah, that might work actually. And we're gonna hide that one too. And what we're going to do is to mark these, and which is nice that you can do that. Multi-select. Come on, multi-select. And then I'm gonna go into options, replace with faders. Now, you might ask, Jacob, why did you go through the whole thing of switching the knob look when you're gonna do faders? Well, because it's something you can do, and I guess I didn't plan ahead. That's why. Sasha, I am going to try adding some automation and modulation to this, because that's something nice that NuRack does. It has some nice automation modules in there, so you can get stuff to automatically modulate stuff in there. You also have some elements like lights and stuff you can put in there. Yeah, it's really nice. You know what? The feedback. I don't think we don't need the feedback. Who needs the feedback? We got it at 91 anyway. It's almost at full, right? So that's, yeah, we can hide that. Okay, so we have two left. That's nice. Ah, forgot that I had that one selected. And now there's an on-off button. Why would I ever want to turn off this effect? I'm not gonna turn off this effect. Effect. I'm not gonna turn off this effect. Let's move all of this. It's starting to get cluttered up here now. Imagine when you've built like this really big plugin and you have loads of these leftover controllers above here. It's a little bit of a nuisance. Okay, another thing I don't like is the way that I have this blue bar here. Now this can be changed in color. You can do it here with 3 sliders. For now, for instance, it's white, and now it's black. And I usually keep mine in black. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide it. So no title, no border. And now we only have 2 controllers that we can move around. And we're going to stretch them out to the max. And that's pretty much it. So, warp and flutter. Very minimalistic effect. If we put it down. Does anyone make like rack units this small? Kind of looks, it's kind of like a modular, like a Euro rack. Yeah, there we go. That's our plugin right now. I'm beginning to wonder what I'm doing here actually, but we're gonna continue building on it. It's not gonna be just this. It's gonna be more. So one thing we're gonna add to this is definitely we're gonna add modulation. I'm just gonna add by pressing plus modulation, and let's see here. Huh? What? Did I choose the wrong one? No, wait. I'm thinking wrong with modulation. It's not here. It's on what is it? Instrument generators, automation, so not modulation. And we're gonna look at, where is it? The the visual LFO, or the no, the pattern automation would be cool. So this is pretty nice. It's just a it's 16 or 32 step pattern sequencer, and you set the strength up like this, and then you activate or deactivate notes or steps by filling these in, and yeah, removing them if you don't want any. So we can basically do some. Let's add 32 steps here and do a little animation thing, and then we're gonna connect this one to the tape delay and to the let's do it to the flutter. It sounds really weird right now. Really weird. Hidden objects no longer affect the layout. Okay, Samuel. Okay. I haven't really read the patch update notes. Okay, so let's see here. Sync speed. Doesn't this thing need a sequencer to run, by the way? Uh, I haven't used this one before, but if it's a sequencer, it should be it should be run. You know what? I'm gonna switch this out to an LFO instead. It's much simpler. Not other, not other. Come on, automation and then LFO, visual LFO. There we go. And we go to assign tape delay, and we do it on the flutter. There we go. It starts to it draws a little line. It's nice how that started and just it started drawing, and then that's so nice. So that's the smoothness, the center of it, range. This is nice. Pull the center to the middle. Speed. I really love these types of tools. Oh yeah. Let's go the full range so it really moves back and oh, it even shows the modulation right there. Hey, that's pretty sweet. Does it do that on the final like yeah, it does. It actually does. It actually showed that. Huh. I don't remember that happening before. So what would I want to keep in this case? It's so nice when the LFOs are this visual. You can see exactly what you're doing with the waveform, where you're putting it, and you can set the range of how much you want the control to move up and down, and you actually get to see it. This is really, really helpful, especially for people who are beginners. Oh, of course, Sawmill. You're right. I could have just pressed play on this thing, and the sequencer would have. Okay, we're gonna add the sequencer back in, and I'm just gonna press play so it runs. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so I would want this to be really weird. I would want to split up the signal so that we could have multiple of these chains running, you know? And here's one thing that I would have loved to be able to do, and it is, you know, like if I want to set up the same thing again with a similar delay, a similar tape delay, then I would have to go into this mode again, and then I would have to add the tape delay, and then I would have to go in here and I would have to do the exact same thing we did with the first delay, you know, sliding all these things up, because I don't think there is a way to actually copy all of that or paste it. If I'm wrong, is that something he's updated? You kind of have to do the same thing again, and that kind of keeps me away from doing some really interesting patches. But what we're going to do is we're going to add another type of, let's see, we're just going to split up the signal first. So we have the tape delay there. So we'll do this and go into others. And in others we have a splitter, we have a merge, we have a hard limiter, a mixer, and a gain. Now we're going to split it up. So I'm going to load the splitter here. And so now we're sending one signal into this tape delay, and we're going to add another one here. Let's see here. We'll add a time-based delay. We'll add a stereo delay. But instead of having this one go in here, I want to delete this connection. And to do that, we press on the plus sign closest to this unit here and say remove connection, and it disconnects them. Now I want the splitted signal to go, so the audio is coming. The audio isn't actually going through the automation thing, because that's just an automation. It's not doing anything to the audio. It's just controlling the tape delay thing that we set up. So the signal is going in here, being split up into the splitter. One signal is being split up and sent into the tape delay, and the other one, we want that one. So we activate from the stereo delay here, that plus sign, and press the other black stereo plus here, and they're connected. So one signal is going into the tape, and the other one is going into the stereo. And so now we have two different signal, and we want both signals from both this one and this one to go into a mixer of some sort. So I'm going to add a mixer right there, and it's already connected the stereo delay, but I'm going to disconnect that because I want the stereo delay on the second one, on the second channel, and the tape delay on the first. So plus and plus. So that's the tape, and then plus, and that's the stereo. Oh, okay. Alright. So now we should have two. So if I pull down the volume for this one, we shouldn't be hearing the stereo delay. We should be hearing the tape delay. And that does sound like that. What? Wait, what am I hearing now? Why does it have such a long tail, by the way? Was the tail always that long? Have I connected something wrong? Okay, so already we're heading in for a disaster here. Split one, tape delay out to the first one. Yeah, okay, but then we should have the stereo delay on the second one. All right, so we are getting a we're getting two things now. So we're getting one fluttered one and one stereo delay. So a regular stereo delay and a flutter delay. And I don't have any problems with the delay times being so different between them. I don't care if they start crashing into each other. You see, the biggest problem I have with delays and sounds in general is that I have this with reverbs too, and that is whenever bass goes into these units, then you get runaway effect with bass, and in the end you're gonna get a very muddy, very hard to mix sound. And so I try to remove all the rumble from all my delays, from again hitting the camera, from all my delays, from all my stereo units, by using high pass filters, or similar, or notch filters to take away certain frequencies. And that's something I'm going to do here. So what I just did, what you didn't see maybe, was that I pulled the mix up full on both of these, because when I am done with this effect, right now it is loaded on the main channel. Like, so if I got the mix pulled all the way up, we're only gonna hear the effect kind of thing, right? We're not gonna hear the original signal, and I want to be able to do that. So what I'm gonna do before we continue with this, I am going to press plus here, and I am going to call this. I'm going to call this the delay box, and save it, right? And now I'm going to remove it from this channel. I'm going to remove that too. And I'm going to open up a new channel here. If you're wondering why I'm not using this channel, it's because I've got this thing here. And I want to be able to do some stuff with this and our finished reverb thing. So yeah, so I'm gonna set up a bus system here now. So I'm gonna load mix bus A, and I just want to say there were some really heartfelt words in the chat, and I want to thank you for that. It means a lot to me that you find what I do so. I'm really shit at taking. Um, Whenever people say nice things to me and nice things about me, I'm almost afraid of taking it in, because I've spent a big part of my life being an asshole, and if I don't keep myself in check, if I start giving into the praise, and if I somehow let that rise above my head, I'm afraid I'm gonna turn into an asshole again, and I don't want to do that. So it does mean a lot to me when you say something nice to me. Thank you. I just don't know how to handle it. I have an easier time handling criticism. Actually, when people are saying negative things about me, I have no problems handling that. That's okay. But when people are nice, don't know how to handle it. So don't. It's not that I'm ignoring people that does that. I just don't know how to handle it. All right. So let's load our audio unit, NuRack. Yeah, there we go. And then where is it? The hack delay box. There we go. All right. So here's the thing. A few streams ago, we did a thing with SynthMaster, and I said I am going to share these presets with you. Here's a problem. I can't. For some reason, it won't let me upload them. It tells me that I am not the author of those presets. Alright? So there's some problems. And I think it has to do with me not being logged into with an account, being logged into the system with an actual account when we were making the presets. And so when I logged in afterwards, of course it detects that I didn't make these because someone else did, anonymous. So I'm gonna have to remake these patches or resave them or something. So far I haven't been able to do that. So far I haven't been able to share them. So as soon as I figure out how to do that, I will. But this patch, if it's shareable, I think it's so easy to share, so I will share it when it's done. For anyone who might want it. And in this case, I think it's as easy as just taking the file and just, putting it somewhere. I thought it would be that simple with SynthMaster, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I was trying to go into the Files app and seeing if maybe the files are there, and I couldn't find any because it seems like you have to go through their system. So that is a big problem. Either way, we've got our effect loaded, and I'm gonna set up bus A right there, and now we're sending. So instead of, let's see here now. So now we have the ability to actually blend our signals any way we want, which is nice because I like being able to mute the original, and bring it back whenever I want. So one thing we're gonna do now is I am definitely gonna add a high pass filter, and I think that's one of the things that Paul actually did implement. I keep calling him Paul, so I really do hope that the developer of this app is called Paul, or that's his name. I honestly can't tell you where I got that from. The name Paul the Music Man rings to mind. Is that his YouTube channel maybe or something? I'm uncertain. Maybe I'm mixing two people together here. Don't take my word for it that his name is Paul. I don't think it is. If anyone knows, just let me let me know in the chat. So we're gonna press the plus and go to filter, and then we're gonna look for the LPHP filter right there. There we go, and here we have it. So right now it's at 50 hertz. Can I pull that up a little bit? I want to put it around maybe 650 hertz. Yeah. That's much more like it. Alright, so that is a sound I can definitely work with, but we have to add some weird modulation to this. I want this effect to be weird. Like Sasha says, should definitely add some more modulations. And we're already modulating the flutter speed of this tape delay. So what else could we do? Well, I do like it when stuff flutter. I do. We could easily make our own kind of a fluttery thing by adding a pitching module to the second delay right here. So we have the stereo delay here, and right now it's pretty clean. It's just doing a regular delay thing. So we'll do that. We'll add a no, sorry. We'll add to that. We'll add a spectral plugin, because that's what it is when we're doing pitch shifting. Adding pitch shift, and here we have the pitch shifter. Now I'm almost afraid of looking at this, but let's see here. Right now our plugin doesn't it doesn't look very good. I don't I don't think that this is the final. Yeah, that's not our final plugin. It can't look like that. I mean, that's just it looks horrendous. It looks absolutely horrible. So we're gonna have to do something about that. We're gonna work on that thing. Believe me. Okay, so we have a pitch shifter here now, and what I want to do is I just want to add some weird stuff going on with the second delay, with the stereo delay. So I'm gonna pull down the level for the first one. That sounds really, really, really weird. Let me just moderate this, Tristan. I'm so sorry. Some of these, like YouTube, is so sensitive. It's like a big baby or something. It's like an overly sensitive. What do you call them? You have them in. I've heard about something called a hall monitor or something in the US in schools. We don't have that in Sweden, but some person walking around the halls checking so that students are going to classes. That's what I feel like YouTube is starting to turn into, the algorithm, because I had to I had to I had to clear your your comment just because you wrote the word asshole, which is, it's not even close to the worst thing that someone could say. I don't I don't like this YouTube. YouTube is becoming too sensitive, and there's no way for me to turn off this stupid thing where it actually tries to hide comments. Oh, you said the a-hole word. That's not the worst thing that people could say to each other. I mean, I'm so sorry. Sorry for getting angry at YouTube again. It's just that YouTube is turning into a special little snowflake. It just feels like ooh, don't swear. I mean, soon we won't be able to say stuff like damn, probably, or darn might be blurred out or taken out of the equation. Oh, you say darn, I'm gonna demonetize you. It's horrible. So, in order to add some dissonance to this is why I always use Discord 4 by Audio Damage, because that app is made for adding dissonance. It's a pitch shifter, a reverb, and modulation and filter in one. And that's basically what we're trying to build here, right? But we're using delays, which that one had. Okay, so that. Okay, so it is practically what we're doing. Can I say Healing Hearts writes, "Can I say shit?" And obviously not, because I want to show you something. All right. So this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna clear you. Okay. There. Your comment is now cleared. In order to add some dissonance to this, we're gonna add a modulation. So we're gonna add another LFO, and I'm gonna load it here because it doesn't really matter where I load it. So we're gonna go to automation. We're gonna touch. We're gonna touch something here, visual LFO, and there we go. That beautiful thing, and it's not doing anything right now. Hello. Let's assign it to this thing, and where I want to assign it to is I want to assign it to the semi pitch here. Let's see, a pitch shifter, and let's do it to the not the detune but the semi. I want to be able to really mess with the pitch here. So semi left. Can this thing do two at once? Or does it only do one? Let's see here. Semi right. No, it only does one thing at a time. Aw, that's too bad. You know what? It does it in semi notes, right? Yeah, that doesn't work. We're gonna clear that. We're gonna assign it to the detune instead. So let's do it on the detune. Detune R, we'll have to choose that. And in worst case scenario, we'll have to load two LFOs, so one LFO controlling detune R, the other one controlling detune left. Can you hear that? That's very low. Oh, there's automation lane B or C. I haven't even thought about that. Does that work for the left one? Is that how it works? No? Yes. Okay, so it has three automation lanes. Did someone say that? Multiple buses per modulator? Of course, Samuel will Samuel will always try to slap me right. You're doing it wrong, Jacob. Here, you have three buses, Jacob. Come on, wake up. It's great, man. It's great. Samuel, how far away from don't you don't have to say the city. How far away from Stockholm do you live? Like how many uh, mil? Not miles, svenska mil, Swedish mil. How far? Is it far? Because when all of this blows over, if there's any chance, maybe we should meet up, for a coffee or something. Like have a little fika, you know. Talk since you can slap me right. It sounds really bad when I say it like that. You know what I mean anyway. It's a Swedish thing, everyone. It's a Swedish thing. We like sitting down, slapping each other, eating buns, drinking coffee, and talk about stuff like the weather. It's a very Swedish thing. If you've never been to Sweden, make sure you you suggest that when you meet Swedes. I want to sit down and have a coffee and slap you. You could do that, or maybe you shouldn't. I'm not sure. If you do though, then let me know what happened afterwards. If that went well for you, I would love to hear about that. So we have three automation lanes, and that's really nice though. Yeah. So we can actually do that on both of them now. So now we have LFO and LFO for both of them. So they're moving, and now we should be. No, I chose the wrong one. I sent it to semi again. Clear that and assign it to pitch shift and detune L. There we go. And now it should be sounding really weird. Okay, so that sounds really. It starts to sound really, really dissonant and out of tune. Maybe it's just a little bit too much. So we're gonna probably pull down on the range for these. So pull down on the range for that one. Pull down on the range for that one. Mix it back with the. So, sounds like a Viking thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's I'm sure that the Vikings did it right after they were eating like swamp mushroom. That's swamp in Swedish. Swamp. Swamp is basically like saying that's a little bit weird because like how do you say it? We have like one word where we're saying that one word both for fungi and for mushrooms. Basically, we say swamp, don't we? And then all the Swedes in the chat are gonna be like, Jacob, no, no, that's not at all right. What are you saying? I might be a little bit wrong, but I can hardly do two things at times. That's the problem with these live streams, right? I can't really do two things at the same time, which is it's probably very noticeable. Me just starting to talk about something else, forgetting what I'm supposed to do, and right now I'm just trying to keep on talking because I did forget what I was going to do. I was going to do something here. I just cannot remember what it was. I just feel like there is one thing missing right now from the plugin. We've added a filter. We've filtered off the signal. We've added, added, we've added, we've added pitch shifters. We've added two different delay modules, and now we're making them sway a little bit. We've already got some fluttering from the tape delay, and we're automating that with an LFO. So we've got a whole lot of mods in here, whole lot of modules. I mean, not mods, but modules. And the last thing I would bake this into is a reverb, because of course, Jacob, a reverb would be really good here, especially since it's already starting to sound muddy. But yes, it would sound great actually, according to me. So I'm gonna add another thing, and I'm gonna add a time-based effect, and there's gonna be a reverb. So all of this is gonna go through a reverb. That's the last thing, and then we're gonna start looking at the interface here, what we actually want to keep, because we have so many controls, and I want our plugin to be like maybe this big, not that big, with maybe just a few controls. So let's go back to the reverb, add the mix to 100, and add a room size that is pretty big. The color like that. Yeah, let's just see what this sounds like. That sounds pretty cool. Now we're gonna do a little test here, because we are going to we disconnect tardigrade. Tardigrade. Wait, is it? What's the name of this thing again? I keep mixing it up, with the real tardigrade, the tardigrade animal. That small little thing, which is like I started reading up about the tardigrade. Like, I think it was like 2 years ago or something. My girlfriend mentioned these creatures, and I'm absolutely stunned over these creatures. The way that they can survive open space and stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting animal. They're very, very, very interesting. If you've never read up about the tardigrade, uh, you should. It's really fascinating. It's tiny, and it could just survive space, just space, float around in space, and then just survive that. That's sick. That's pretty sick. Badass, if you ask me. Again, I forgot what I was gonna do. Right? That's great. I was gonna look at this. No, I wasn't gonna look at. I was looking up the name. All right. So the thing I want to test is this. There is a patch in here, the first patch on the K oscillator. We're gonna send that and play that into here. So I'm gonna set up the bus. I've already got that all set up. So we got bus send A. No, yes, just send to bus A. And if I play just a simple drum patch, ooh, got some interesting going on here. That's all the effect right now. now my most loved patch, the patch that made me pick up the oscillator when I picked it up in a music store so many years ago, when it came out. This was the first ever oscillator ever made. Not the absolute, the first model of a oscillator. When the oscillator came to be, becoming a concept in the world, this is the one that came out. And I picked this up when I was in a music store, and I just bought it instantly because of this one patch that Korg put in here. And it's actually got a shimmer reverb on it already. So I'm just gonna disconnect this first. You hear that? That's a shimmer reverb, okay? I think we could pretty much send anything through here and it would sound pretty nice. I like that. Ooh, I like that a lot. Oh, I like that a lot. Ooh, I like that a lot. Oh, I really like that. Oh, oh, that's good. That's some good stuff right there. I mean, the thing already has some awesome sounds in there, but with our plugin that we built, that looks so beautiful right now. I mean, just have a look at this. Look at this interface. Look at this interface. Wow. So let's do something about the interface because it just can't look like this. I'm really not looking forward to this. Right. So let's start by moving some stuff out of the way here. We've got a stereo delay over there. We've got a splitter over here. The splitter, we really don't need to see the splitter. We don't. We really don't. Because I want the plugin to work just like this. I just want some minor control to be able to control maybe the rate of the LFO, controlling the wobbliness and stuff. Yeah, that's probably it. Like speed controls for the LFO and strength controls. So, let's see here. That is for the delay. That's the flutter and warp. So we keep those. That's from the first delay. And the second delay, what do we keep from that one? We keep... There's really nothing I want to keep from it. I don't even want to keep the flutter and warp. Though I can do without those controls completely. We're building something really minimalistic here. So it's still gonna animate in the background. So what do I need? I need, yeah, we're gonna keep the LFO controls here. That's cool. The stereo delay, we don't need that. What else? What else do we have? We have the mixer. Now the mixer, on the other hand, that could be interesting too. Yeah, the mixer, we're gonna keep that. The reverb, we're gonna keep some of it. The pitch shifter, we're not gonna keep that. The other LFO, we're gonna keep that. All right, so let's move this around a little bit and let's start deciding what we're gonna keep from the visual LFOs. Okay, so what's the important thing? What do I really want to fix here? I just want to load this plugin up, and then I want to be able to control the strength. So the range, we're gonna keep the range, but because that's, oh, first we're gonna untick the clip bounce. That one we're gonna keep. I don't think I'm gonna make a fader one this time. We're gonna keep the knobs. So that one we're gonna keep. Let's move this thing up here. Okay, there we go. So that's the range and the speed. I want to keep the speed. Speed and range. That's it. And that's gonna be our wobble flutter 1. Yeah. And then we're gonna do the same thing with wobble flutter 2. Now here's the thing I want to mention, because if I wanted to keep, for instance, this thing here, which is the selector for the different waveforms, sine, square, saw up, start, saw down, random, alternate, I would have to use this as it is, and the only thing we can do with this is to reshape it like this, and it just doesn't look good. So what I would love to do is I would love to have this in some other way, maybe able to split it up or something, you know. I don't know. I'm gonna put this back, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing I'm gonna keep from this, the flutter. So we'll have to put this here and grab the knobs back in there. There we go. And with the other one, same thing. Speed. Untick clip to bounce. And range. Just like that. And then there's nothing else. So that's annoying. Come on. Like that. What? Are you serious? Why is it doing that? Wait a minute. Oh, it always moves with the box. You know, never mind. Never mind. Okay, so we have speed and range for the two LFOs, and that's pretty much it. So right now our plugin is very tiny. Okay, so the next thing, someone did mention here that I did talk about a low pass high pass filter. Didn't we put that in? I thought we did put that in. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did actually, and it's right here. And if I want to have some control over that, I'm gonna have to keep at least one of the controls. I wouldn't want to do any low pass filtering, actually. Most of the time I don't. Most of the time I just want to be able to remove and lift the bass, and so we need to keep the high pass, and so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep the high pass. Untick clip to bounce. Move this thing up here. It's getting so messy, everyone. Alright. You know what? I said I wasn't gonna convert these into faders. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna replace them with faders. Yeah, that just feels better to control right now. So I'll put these controls to the side. And then just enlarge these other ones. So that's the high pass filter for the input, being able to lift some of the bass, and then we're able to control the speed of the warble basically, and also the range of that warble for that tape delay. And then we have a warble control for the stereo delay, and we got the speed control right here for the LFO, controlling that, and a range for that. Our plugin is becoming way more slim. It's very slim. Yeah, not much. 5 controls. All right, so we're gonna add the reverb to this too, because I do like having reverbs. And then the mixer, might want to keep that or maybe not. Maybe not. No, no. It's gonna be baked as it is. So I'm gonna put this one here. The reverb we're gonna keep some stuff. So the mix we're gonna keep the mix, room size, color, and output. No, we're not gonna keep the output. So we're gonna do this like that. Select all of the knobs. I know it's really tiny, so you can't even see that almost. Replace them with faders, and then select these. Select all the faders, untick clip to bound so we can move them around. Oh, it's so hard to move when you're zoomed out. There we go. 3 controls. The reverb mix, the reverb room size, and the reverb color. Alright, there we go. High pass filter, speed controls, and range controls for the warbling effect for the 2 delays, and then the room control basically for the reverb. That's pretty much it. That's not much at all, is it? Oh, no, it actually, okay. This is what I was talking about. Now that I want to do this with my box, I want to move it down to the smallest size like this. It doesn't allow you because there are elements around here tied to these elements. So in order to be able to minimize this, you're then gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to move all of the stuff that you don't want. Oh, of course it's gonna do that. Of course it's gonna do that. Move that back. We're gonna have to move all of this in. Oh, of course it's gonna do that. Oh, it's gonna move all of the things tied to it. Come on, this is so hard. No, don't do that. Ah, all right. It's almost there. We're almost there, everyone. Almost there. So, I want thank you, accurate. But I don't feel awesome. This live stream has been extremely messy today. I've been a bit absent-minded and a bit confused, but show must go on. So thank you for your kind words. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed your last video, by the way. Not the last. It sounds so final when I say that. The latest video you did, I think it was the latest one when you were out in the forest. Very nice one, very nice one. I've got a place over here that looks kind of similar to that. I've sat there many times, with some portable gear, this thing carried with me and an iPad, just sitting and just working on something. By the way, that portable turntable looks pretty sweet. um, I've been thinking of maybe like getting something like that myself, but I can't justify it because I don't have that workflow, all the time. So if I got it, it would be just because I think it's cool to have one. Would it get much use from me? Probably not, because I don't work like that. But yeah, I mean, I've got a turntable over here that I hardly even touch right now. It comes in period for me, you know. Periodare, like we say in Swedish. It's a thing. It's a thing, you know. Am I already zoomed in all the way? Wait. Okay. Right, there we go. So messy, so messy. I can just imagine myself doing the timestamps for this one. It's gonna be horrible. Okay, so there's one more thing I want to show you here. We're gonna go into pictures here, and we're gonna copy this picture by long pressing. We're gonna copying this picture by long pressing. We're gonna copy this picture by long pressing. Copy, and we're gonna go back in here. All right, and we're going to go to these white lines here in the upper left corner, and choose paste background. And yes, boom. And now Can you even see that? It's darker now. Yeah. As Paul wrote down here in a pop-up message, dark metal kind of looking textures work the best, and that's what I'm using. I'm using a texture picture of a brushed dark metal texture, basically. I've tried some gold textures and some silver ones, some light ones. Don't look that good. Actually, I agree with Paul here, who made this app. It doesn't look good. Now, there are some cool things in here, like the this thing here, the LFOs. They look cool, right? They look awesome. So I think we're gonna keep those in here, and that way we're filling out our plugin a little bit. And the color I would want for this is, I think, white. So we're gonna make white lines. That's probably very hard for you to see. Let me try to make it red, like this. Can you see that? Oh, it's so hard to see. I've got OBS here and I can hardly see that, but it does look red, doesn't it? Right? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make them white. I like working with white. White scan lines, basically. All right. So let's move this thing here. This is for the reverb, so we're gonna move these to the side. And how big can we make these? Not that big. Let's put them like this. I think that looks pretty sweet. Yeah, kind of works for me anyway. Maybe like that. Put them in there and then put the faders back. We could probably space stuff a little bit better. And right now I'm not labeling anything, but this does look like a really weird effect. Alright? It's such a weird effect. And it's not at all representative of what the thing sounds like. It just creates this massive sound when you run stuff through it. And for anyone getting into music wouldn't have any kind of idea what's going on with this plugin. This is not how I would build a plugin ever for anyone else if it was, so that anyone else could use it. What a weird thing. What do you think? Huh? Huh? Look at that. It's got shapes and they're moving. I'm such a sucker for those things. My drummer brain. Tristan, you're a drummer? When you say drummer, what kind of a drummer are you? Are you a percussion drummer, or are you you're using like the drum set? Do you do both? My girlfriend used to do. She used to be part of this band where they were doing percussion drumming, so Latin rhythms and stuff like that. All kinds of carrying drums that you carry and do stuff, and then they did stuff in groups, like up to between 20 and 50 people, doing these things. I mean, there are many different types of drumming. All kinds of drummings are awesome. I used to dabble with it when I was younger, and I thought I was like so badass doing it until someone told me that, dude, you're actually shit. You have to stop doing this. Like, let me drum instead. And then I started like singing, and I wasn't really good at that either. But yeah, I think I found my thing as soon as I started touching knobs. That sounds so bad, especially if you say that to someone from Britain. Um, I'm talking about synthesizers, of course. When I started filling with knobs, I knew I had found my callings. I could, I could, I could sit all night just touching knobs, tweaking knobs. That's what I like doing. My name is Jakob haQ. I like tweaking knobs. So our plugin looks kind of. I think it looks kind of usable. Oh no, I forgot. Don't tell me. Oh, go back in. You see, there's something you have to do with every element, every plugin you put grab in. If you don't want to use like these borders and stuff, we're gonna have to make sure that all the borders are not visible. No border, no title. Okay, good. Here too, no title, no border. Here, no title, no border. Here, no title, no border. Have to tick them all. Tick all the boxes. No title, no border. Up here, no title, no border. Oh, no title, no border. No title, no border. All right. Awesome. That's our plugin. We built the plugin in NuRack, everyone. It only took like 1 hour and 20 minutes for building this. Whoa, what have I been doing? And what we're going to do right now is make sure it start my pad is starting to get greasy, and so when you have it at this angle like I have it in this stand, sometimes the touch doesn't work at all. Apple really wants you to have a certain kind of incline, when you're using this, and a certain amount of grease on there. They want you to have a certain amount of grease on your iPad. If you asked him, he will tell you. He carries around he carries around a packet of margarine, terrible margarine by the way. I don't know the brand. And then if he feels like the iPad isn't responsive enough, he'll just grab the pack and just smear it like on there, just a little bit, then make sure that it's all covered up, and then the touch works like perfect, like perfect. Allegedly, I've heard someone else say that. I'm not the one saying that. I'm just telling a story here from someone else who who is not credible at all and should not be taken seriously. So, just so you know, I just thought it would be an interesting thing to share. Um, you know, since I'm kind of out of ideas right now, and maybe I should have picked another topic for this entire live stream. And next live stream, I'm actually gonna take one of your advices, and I'm gonna do. We're gonna keep on working with music, and I'm gonna show you how I'm actually building a live set for doing atmospheric performance things with AUM. Someone suggested it on my channel, on my main channel, and someone suggested it on the last live stream. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show how to do that. Uh, because that's something funny. I can talk about that for hours, and this is why I like making my episodes on my main channel, because I don't feel comfortable working with apps I know very little about. It makes me look bad, you know. I like looking like I know what I'm talking about, but the only way I'm able to do that is because I find out about apps, I learn apps, and then I do know what I'm talking about. So I'm really good at knowing it when I do know it, but I'm really bad at faking it because I yeah, I'm just bad at it. And in this case, I'm trying as hard as I can here, but it's not working. So I'm gonna stop right there. We have about 40 minutes left of this stream, and I think we've managed to build something with NuRack. That was the topic of the video, and I think that's enough. I think we should talk now because I want to interact with all of you. Actually, that's why we're doing the live streams, and that's pretty much it. Is there anything that's happened this week or this month that you want to talk about, like when it comes to the apps we're using, the app world? Have you noticed any trends maybe happening? Like, oh, no one's releasing any synthesizers anymore. What's up with that? Like anything. We can talk anything. I'm up for any type of chat about this. I got a question last time. I was talking about um, yeah, that's right. I had a question from someone in my last stream, and it ended up with me talking about my girlfriend because my girlfriend used to be one of those people who how do I say this? Like, you know what? I'm gonna save that one because I asked her again. The thing is, she got a question from someone in the chat, and I asked her to think about that so I could answer that question for the next live stream, this live stream. But she told me I'm not sure. So I thought, okay, maybe wait until the next live stream, and I just forgot that we talked about it, and so I brought it up for no reason. Never mind. Hopefully, I'll have an answer for whoever was asking that next live stream. But we were basically talking about feeling, um, what do you call it? Like feeling secure in yourself. That's what we were talking about. If anyone remembers, like I feel I feel secure in myself when I use apps, when I do hardware stuff, when I do my videos, even though I'm not at all certain that I'm doing everything right. I know I'm not doing everything right. I know I can always learn more. And whenever I get a chance to do that, whenever it turns out that I am wrong, I do learn from it, and I also accept that I have done something wrong. I admit it, and then I can move forward and actually learn something from it. Because you can't learn anything if you just disregard from all your mistakes all the time. You kind of have to, remember them, take them in. And still, I'm having a trouble feeling secure with myself when I'm with other people. And we talked about this, that like my girlfriend is the same. Like she doesn't feel secure with other people because she doesn't know how to interact with people. I know how to interact with people. I just don't feel secure doing it. I just don't feel good doing it because it's not the people's fault. It's just how I work. I just don't feel safe around people. I think is that that sounds so bad. It's just that I know who I am. I know what I'm doing when I'm with these things. When I'm with this. When I'm with this. Yeah. I just know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm doing something good, I think. Something. At least something that makes me feel good. That's the thing. And as soon as I go out into the world and mix up with people, I feel very, very weak. I feel like I have to show a side of myself that isn't really there. So for many, many years I did that. I tried to blend in. I tried to be the goof. I've tried to be everything. The tough guy. I've tried to be the all out asshole. Everyone. Everything you could ever possibly be. I've just tried to be everything else but myself. And that's just how it was. I mean, I guess everyone, like all humans, put up a front. When we don't trust our surroundings or the people around us, and I think that's a good common sense. But it can get out of hand when you start focusing on it, like I did, and then it just turns into paranoia, which I've been extremely paranoid in my life. Jesus, ugh, don't even get me started on that. Ooh, paranoia, getting into conspiracy theories, like all of that stuff, being scared of everything. I've gotten to a point where I can actually interact with people for at least a few hours before I feel like I'm tired. I'm like really, really tired and I need to step away. And so I do. I've learned to do that. Instead of trying to force myself to stay, I just step away and I disappear probably for the rest of the evening. And so people, if you ever talk to people who have ever invited me to an event, you'll hear them say, "Oh yeah, I saw him somewhere, but then he just disappeared and I haven't seen him all day." That's me. That's how I work. Like I just get up there, I do my thing, and then I disappear. And that's how I'm able to handle stuff. The Toman Synth reactor was probably one of the most interesting deals because I was scared to death going there. I had one of the best times in my life ever, but there was one night at the hotel that I was taking a shower and I started crying. Not like you're crying like "Whoa," like that, but I started crying like tears are coming from my eyes, and I couldn't figure out what it was because I had a good day, but I was probably so exhausted from all the human interaction that that just happened, and I didn't feel especially sad. It just started crying, and I did feel pretty beat, and Whew, I slept pretty good that night, but that's probably the only night that I slept when I was there. People are too much stressed. Yeah, I do agree with that. And I mean, this society we're living in, mm, with the internet and everything, it's not really helping us stress down, right? Depending on what we're consuming. Yeah, whatever we're consuming is being read by some algorithm, and then that algorithm recommends more of that stuff to us. And so we're not even helping ourselves being less stressed. We're just, so you could be one of those people consuming some really nice, calm stuff. And then in those cases, you might be able to stress down. I know people that do that. If people can't handle the true you, it's their problem. Yeah, it's love and chaotically amazing. My wife and I are the same. By the way, me and Grant here, I've met up with Grant. Such a wonderful human being, very interesting character, and I had a great time meeting him up in Norway. Won't say where in Norway, of course, for obvious reasons. But yeah, Grant, I do miss you, man. I do miss you. It was a very interesting talk we had. Very, very close and personal talk, and it was a special meeting for me. Um, yeah, I hope you're doing good, man. I hope you're doing good. 5G zombies. Please not. No, no, don't start anything about 5G in here, please. I beg you, please. No, stop. Just stop, okay? I've had it. I've had it. Oh my God, I've had it. I've had it up to here with some of the conspiracy stuff that I've seen recently. Like I've just had it. It's just insane. It's insane, and I'm sure that a lot of you in chat have had it too. There's never been a time in history where we can look everything you at everything you want and learn everything all at once. Yeah, that's oh, that's the wonderful thing, and it's not horrible, but it's both good and bad. I talked about that, with people. Uh, some people asking me like, "Hey, Jacob, you've been doing this music thing your whole life, and now someone can just bring up a video and just learn what you've learned in just 5 minutes. That something that maybe took you a year to do or 10 years, you know." And I'm like, "But I'm making videos too." And they're like, "Yeah, but don't you feel like you're just giving it all away for free?" And I'm like, "There's nothing in the world is for free. You have to actually watch my video. You have to actually do what I'm doing in the video, and you have to actually understand it. And to understand it is to know it, and to know it, you have to do it. That's the only way you can learn. That's how I learn. You're not going to learn anything practical by having someone tell it to you. And all the music we're doing, it's practical. It's not happening by itself. Someone is doing something. Even if you write an algorithm that makes music, you still have to learn how to code and learn how algorithms work, learn how AI networks work, and then make it do that, right? Nothing is free. You have to spend time into whatever you do. Everything we do can be measured in time. Everything. Which is something I've always been extremely focused on, and I'm pretty neurotic when it comes to stuff like this. I know that doing the dishes, having to wash 3 plates and 8 forks and 4 knives and 3 spoons, 3 smaller spoons and 2 glasses, that will take me exactly 8 minutes, and I do it with a certain amount of water, and I do it with a certain amount of tabs or tabs with my brush on that thing where I keep the dishwasher. I know that it takes exactly like 8 minutes and 10 seconds, give or take a few seconds. I know this. Why do I have to know that? Because I'm trying to maximize everything I do every day. And so if I go take a shit, I know it's going to take me exactly, if it's a good day, it's going to if it's a good day, if it's a good day, it's going to take me about 3 minutes. And if it's a bad day, It's going to take longer, and I know exactly how long that takes. I know how long it takes for me to shower. I know how long it takes for me to get out of bed. Know how long it takes for me to make coffee, drink the coffee. I know exactly when I need to eat, how many hours it's supposed to be in there. I see every day as these blocks of time, all right? And I know exactly every day if I want to do certain things, then those blocks, there's always a certain amount of blocks filled out, and then everything rest is where I can do unexpected things in. And that's how I see everything. I don't even know how I started talking about this. But that's a side of me that maybe you didn't know. I'm really, really, really. When I cook, I love it when my girlfriend cooks for me. I'm just faster than her because I do it all the time. But she's really good at cooking food. She makes like the best stuff, and she makes some stuff that I can't even make. But whenever we're hungry, I would never ask her to do it because I know that whatever we're gonna cook, I'm gonna do it 3 times faster. So I know exactly how long it takes to do that. You see what I'm? God. Is there anyone else as nerdy with these details as I am? Like keeping track of time like that. I'm afraid of looking. I'm not even looking at the chat right now. I'm afraid because everyone is gonna say like, Jacob, you're psychotic. What? What do you mean 3 minutes to take a shit? What do you mean? What do you mean 8.10 seconds to dish these things? How do you know that? You said the S word. Yeah, I know. Luckily, YouTube didn't bleep me out. But oh, the day if that ever happens, imagine that YouTube like making a script where it just automatically bleeps your stuff, like calculates when you're gonna say stuff, and then it just bleeps it out automatically. I can see that being a thing in the future. Ugh. By the way, I want to say hello to everyone who has joined up. I can see names in here that I haven't seen before, and welcome. And I'm always happy to see old and new faces. And if you're new and you have any questions, go ahead and ask them down there. We still have like 22 minutes, and so far I've just been talking about me. Like, are there any topics you want to talk about? Sounds like adult child of alcoholic syndrome. Actually, my parents never had that problem, but I'm a sober alcoholic, so I've definitely had that problem. And I I think that one of the reasons to me turning to drugs and alcohol, which I've been clean of for as long as I've been doing hack attack, for as long as I've been doing that, I started doing hack attack the day I got sober. Okay, that has meaning. I'm able to stay sober very much thanks to not only my own determination, but that has to come first when it comes to addiction. You have to want to stop. And I still want to stop. And every day I stop. I don't take it for granted that I'm just free now for the rest of my life. It's a constant struggle to think about the past and what happened, what will happen if I ever go back. That's the thing. So I've had problems with it, definitely. But my parents, they didn't. There's been alcoholism in my family, of course, in my extended family, there has been. And there's been some really tragic stuff from that. Some really, really, really tragic stuff, which is just horrible. And some words I can't even say because YouTube instantly shuts those things down. And I can understand why, because they're really really, really serious topics. And there are other family members involved too, and I don't like flaunting that story around, because of everyone else. I have to think about everyone else too, not only myself. But I've seen and I've been in it, and I know what addiction can do to you. I'm just happy I can laugh about it today, that I'm still here. You mean automatic audio censoring? Yes, Samuel. That's exactly what I'm talking about. automatic audio censoring. That is going to become a thing in the future. Imagine, imagine that future. The internet that we have, like, I'm 41, so I've seen the early days of internet, not the absolute earliest days, but I've seen the very early days of internet. And the way that it's changed, it was predictable. As soon as something grows and becomes too big, it's always going to turn into this entity of, an entity that just tries to grow and expand as much as possible. It happens with everything from food chains to banks to smartphone makers, stuff like that. It just happens. Whenever anything just becomes too big, it starts getting bad. And this thing with the internet, it's good that everyone has access to it, but it's also brought with it the all the other like normal social things that we've seen in the regular world. Internet used to be like a place that we nerds could escape to, and now we have to share it with everyone else, which is awesome. But that's also given an uprise to everything from very uninteresting drama content on YouTube and stuff like that. It's just, and then that ends up controlling the rest of the platform, ending up messing it up for everyone else because the people within that community chooses to do some really stupid stuff, and it's just a select few that does it. But because of that select few, then suddenly everything gets regulated, and that happens all the time with everything from politics to gaming to anything. And I just wish that I just wish that that wasn't the case, that but there are some people that have to have everything all the time. I don't need that. I just need enough. That's what I need. I need enough. Someone's mentioning 1984. Are we getting too dangerously political here? Ooh, I'm gonna start getting emails soon. Jakob, I don't like it when you talk politics. I don't like it. You're getting too political, Jakob. No. Stop it. Stop it. Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. I'm going to cancel you. I used to use the expression "it's the bomb" for something really cool. Not anymore. At least here in the US. Yeah, talking about bombs. Did you ever have y'all seen what happened? Y'all have y'all seen what happened yesterday in Lebanon? Did you see that? That was really, oof. That it looked really bad. It looked really bad. I've been following that story now since yesterday. We saw it. My girlfriend, she's a journalist, and she was working during the evening, and so the company she works for subscribes on this service that puts out news very quickly. So these guys, all the journalists and reporters, they get all these news like like that whenever something happens. So just an hour or something after it happened, um, she told me like something happened in Lebanon, and we just looked for some footage, and we found the footage, and that looked really really horrible. And then we sat there and just saw them put out the fire and stuff, and it looks like they've been able to put out the fire now, at least. 1984 was in 1886. That's pretty good. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, and when it comes to Healing Heart, when it comes to knowing the story, it's only been like it's hardly even been 2 days, so way too early. But what everyone has been saying so far is that it looked like they were storing sodium nitrate, the stuff that you use for fertilizer and everything, something that was confiscated for some time and then stored there. But we're talking about like thousands of tons of it, and that thing is extremely flammable and can combust when you get it going, and that's what happened probably. But we'll see in a week or two what they say. Um, I just my heart goes out to whatever like to the people out there, because that was an awfully big blast wave, and it really did destroy a lot of stuff around the area. There's like a silo building right there next to it, and it's completely trashed. And if that thing wouldn't have been there I mean, I can't even imagine all the people that were working there. That's just awful, awful, awful what happened. I've only seen Shockwave on my iPad. That's oh, of course you're talking to. Now I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's a tragedy. Tragedy. Never seen a Shockwave from the street angle before. No, I don't think I've ever seen one as clear as that footage there. No. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of conspiracy theories always when something like this happen, and I find it's tragic, you know. But that's just the way it is. There are conspiracies in the world, lots of them, and luckily we can all find videos on YouTube. If my channel wasn't music related, if I somehow had a third channel where I was talking about everything and nothing, then that would be a fun thing to do, you know, to look up our most favorite conspiracy theories, because that is a very fun topic. It's a little side hobby of mine. Like I have two things in life that I love doing, and that is music and gaming. Those two, and then on the side, I like checking out on conspiracy theories because I used to be a conspiracy nut myself. Maybe someday I'll talk about it, you know. Maybe someday, when I feel comfortable enough to offer that part of myself. I feel so stupid and silly still, you know. But we all come from some place, and you know, some conspiracy nuts I get where they're coming from because I've been one myself. So I understand how you can get to that, to get to feel like that, and the way that you feel when you are susceptible to ideas like that. I keep hitting the camera. So I get it. It's not like everything is just too crazy. There are just some things that I feel are a little bit above, you know, above my, yeah. It's one way to sort out social distan distancing. I'm done with conspiracy theories. Do my head in. I just don't play their game as much as possible. Makes oh, the 432 hertz music. Oh, yeah, Samuel. That's actually something I thought there was something in that when I was a little bit younger. But as soon as I started looking into it, I'm like, okay, so no, just no. That's funny though. That's funny though, man. Okay, look everyone. Um, about 10 minutes left on this stream. It turns out that I actually cooked and we ate before streaming this time because my girlfriend wants an early night. I'm streaming in the room where she's supposed to sleep. So as soon as I cut off the stream and everything, she's gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna go out into the living room and sit there and work off my iPad, working on a project. So this week I probably won't have time to put out a video. I've been working on this big um, conspiracy. No, not conspiracy. I've been working on this really, really, really big video. It's a comparison of different shimmer reverbs, and now even Tide even put out a new one, so now I have to add that one on the list too. I was already working with a lot of them, and now I have to do one more. Really annoying. It's cool. I mean, their stuff is good. It's just, I wish they didn't do it right now. So I've been working on that, and I haven't really had time to prepare a short video for this week. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get one out in time, but if I am, it's probably gonna be one about all the ways that you can sample into Sampler, because I have to have shorter videos. And then I have a third project that I'm working on that's been going on for very long time, and it is something very, very special. And I don't like having to tease you at all. I don't like teasing people at all. I'm not a troll, but that's all I can say. And I wish I could say more, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome when I get to tell you exactly what that is, because oh, I'm dying to tell you, but there's so much work to do still, so incredibly much work, and even though I'm not doing most of the work, um, there's still so much to do, and yeah, I hope that piques a little bit of interest. Streamed knobs right down the rabbit hole. Rabbit? I said rabbit, didn't I? Rabbit. Like rabbit, like a dog, rabbit. No, rabbit. Now I said rabbit. Now I said rabbit. Gadget 5, able to live, yada yada. Don't get me wrong, I'm a conspiracy nut. Can't do not about it. I do positive things and I try not to buy into the system. Hey, I've been there too. I've been there too. Drambo video. The Drambo video is coming along nicely, but still need more time. I haven't been able to decide how I'm gonna do the video actually, because when in my script, when I calculate the script for the Drambo video, the problem is that it becomes way too long when I add tutorial bits. So I have to decide: do I do do I do mostly tutorial for my big video? Do I do mostly tutorial, or do I do mostly like showcases with small bits of tutorial? And what I want to do is showcases with small bits of tutorial, lots of music in there and different modules to really show the capabilities of it. And then maybe do tutorials later down the line. Because if I put them in the same video, it's gonna get too long. I don't like making videos over 45 minutes. I want them to be tops 45. I think that's a nice length, like a TV episode, especially when you do it with lots of stuff in there, nicely paced, not just the same thing, just not just one voice, just nagging on for 30 minutes, you know. So in this case, I'm gonna have to. That's the problem. That's what taking me so long. And then I was waiting, of course, for the audio unit multi-out thing, and then it hit. Missed it, of course, because I was working on so many other things. So it's just getting delayed. Just getting delayed. That's all. You have enough beats, but I owe you. I want NPC beats. I'm reading about beats here, and I don't know what I'm reading. Drambo is very flexible. Yes, Drambo is very flexible. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure that this plugin is saved. Just make sure that it is saved. Oh no, wait a minute. I just realized something. This thing is saved in AUM. Is it possible to send these? Oh, now it's starting to hurt. You see, the standalone version and the audio unit version plugin works differently. So look at this. If I try to save this one in the plugin itself, it's not going to allow me to do that. Look at this. Sorry, this plugin has not been implemented. Shared user presets available since iOS 13. Ask the plugin developer to override supports user presets and current presets according to Apple documentation. This needs to be addressed, because when you're saving stuff in AUM, you're saving it for AUM only. So if I close this down and I want to like open it up in the standalone version, I can't. But if I make a plugin inside the standalone version and save it down, I can still open that in the audio unit version when I get it loaded in AUM. It just doesn't work the other way around. Save them in the NuRack save side menu. Oh god, I'm so stupid. Of course. Save. Samuel, you're my savior. You know that? Okay. So for the past, what is it? We have 4 minutes left. Name this plugin. Name this plugin because I'm gonna share it with you. I'm gonna try to share it with you. Ah, Tristan, is that a name you want me to add to the list? Ah, is that it? There's too many ways of saving in here. Got any names for me, chat? I'm all out of tea. I'm all out of water. This is not good. Paul, where are you? That's a good name. Paul, where are you? There's like 5 U's in there. That's great. Ah, so that's what it's gonna be. All right. That's the names we're using right now. Right. Everybody's just trolling me right now. Rehack. Rehack. That's a good one. A thumbs up. Right. A thumb. We could use a thumbs up as a name too. I don't know if that works. Thank you everyone for making streams interesting. Um, I do feel like this one was particularly all over the place, but that's okay. Have to have those once in a while. There was this one live stream where we went through some stuff that Apple did. That was an interesting live stream. We should probably do something more like that sometime. Talk about some topics, some future stuff happening in the industry. Because there are some interesting stuff coming out, like sometimes when you read developer notes, like stuff they're implementing for development in their platforms, can be very interesting reads because if developer starts implementing whatever they're putting in there, um, yeah, sometimes it will give rise to new types of apps. That's stuff I like talking about. Swaying Paws. Sorry, I missed the question. Feeding the cat. Is that a name you want me to add to the list? Healing Heart? I was asking for names. Is that the name? Is that the name you're suggesting? Sorry, I missed the question. Feeding the cat. That's a very good name, by the way. I think I might be going to that one. Someone likes Rehack. That's like 2 votes for Rehack. Swaying Paws. Ding dong, you need another dongle. Someone has been listening. What is that? That's from a song, right? That I made. Which one is it? Is it? I think it's the. I can't remember which video it's from. LOL. Is that the new name you want to use, Healing Heart? LOL. All right, Rehack. It looks like Rehack is voted 2 times. So that's what it's gonna be. Rehack. NuRack Rehack. That's not what I was trying to write. Come on now. I can't even see this. This is annoying. Covering up the place where you're supposed to write. There we go. Rehack. And I spelled it incorrectly, so I'm gonna have to resave it again. Of course. Rehack. Good. Hopefully I'll be able to share this. And when I do, I will do it in a Drops box. I will do it in a Dropbox link down below in the description or in a pinned comment or both as soon as I've gotten it up there. And if it's not there, then you know that something went wrong again, just like it did with the Synthmaster presets that I was gonna share. So is feeding the cat. Swaying the cat? For feeding the cat. Feeding the cat is a great name. Oh, so you want me to name it like that? You know what? I'll share 2 versions of this one. So I'll name one feeding the cat. Feeding the cat. I'll save both and share both versions, so you can choose which one of the plugins you want: feeding the cat, or toothing the mirror, uh, rumping the stump, or maybe I don't know. I'm starting to get tired, everyone. I'm sorry. Right. So I think I'll just gonna clear this out, shut this down, and I'm gonna thank you so much for joining me during this very chaotic live stream. It's been interesting, and I love it when you join me up like this. It feels great to have you here, all of you. And you hear that? I don't have any grounded outlets in my apartment. There's one in the kitchen. And in order to use it, I have to pull a long cable from the kitchen in here. And then it's like an annoying cable right over the sink. No grounded connections. Can you imagine? I've been working with that for so long. All of the hum and stuff I've had to like wash out for my stuff. Ugh. Either way, thank you so much for joining me here at Jakob haQ Live, and I hope to see you next time. Always streaming on Wednesdays, UTC plus 2, which is going to turn into UTC plus 1 soon enough, I think, as soon as daylight saving passes over and we go into wintertime or whatever we call it. Which I wish they would just remove that. I wish they would just remove that stupid thing with the clock back and forth, because I don't even have time to get used to the switch until we're now switching it again. It's so annoying. So next Wednesday, same time, 2000 hours, UTC plus 2, Stockholm time. And hopefully I've got a more interesting topic and more of a brain with me, because now it really did feel like I had less of a brain with me. Yep. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see if I can just get all of this shut down. You know what? You might as well hang with me as I'm just trying to shut this down. 2 hour stream. This is one of those I do not want to timestamp at all. Really, I really don't, because it's gonna be horrible. It's one of those where you have to do timestamps that are basically like they're spaced apart by 30 seconds. 30 seconds, a new topic. 30 seconds, a new topic. It's just horrible. So you have this long list. It's like a mile long of timestamps, and they're really short timestamps. But it's because there's so many topics. It's stupid. It's uh, thank you. I'll be forwarding your love, healing heart, to all of the parties that you've mentioned. Do I have a radiator? No, I don't. Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I do actually. Right, of course. You said something. Yes, of course, I could use that. And there's one part that isn't like painted over. It's actually exposed metal. I could just run like a copper wire on it. Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do that. I don't know why I haven't done that. I had to do that in one of the apartments I lived in when I was way younger. Those were the days. All right, so I'm gonna shut this down now if I can. Try to pack this up because my girlfriend probably wants to go to bed. So thank you everyone. See you next Wednesday. Have a really really good evening. And just if the maybe you're having a good day. Either way, as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun. Um, you know, doing that, doing it. That's what I